Belichick, remember his name? Know his name. He's getting shut out. Unless another job comes open and they hire him, he is not going to have a head coaching job. That is astounding to me. There's 2 vacancies currently. #currently. Washington and Washington. Washington and Seattle. Commanders and Seahawks. Every other job is now filled. Unless a job comes open. Am I missing a job? We've got Titans. We've got Chargers. We've got Panthers. We've got Falcons, Patriots, Raiders. The 2 left, Seahawks and Commanders. So, now remember, this is going to get Chiefs fans triggered. I don't know whether or not Andy Reid's going to retire, but there's reason to believe the Chiefs have on their radar screen the possibility that it'll happen. What if it happens? What if it happens? You know what I think will happen if it happens? I think the players will start saying, we want Eric Bieniemy. Even if ownership would like to cast its lot with Bill Belichick. And wouldn't that be something? What an alliance that would be. Belichick and Patrick Mahomes. As Belichick tries to get at least one to match what Tom Brady did once he left the Patriots, and Mahomes keeps trying to get more and more and more to eventually catch Tom Brady. That would be something if it happens. Unless there's somebody else out there that is secretly pondering firing their coach, Belichick will be passed over. What will he do? Will he work in media? There will be interest in him. He was very good on that NFL 100 show where they went over the top 100 players in league history, the all-time 100 team, whatever. I can't remember. It's been 4 years ago, and a lot's happened since then. So I forget exactly what it was called. Just like Mark Dominic, son of a bitch. Mark Dominic. Yes. Thank you. Sorry that Kristen has to bleep that out. Anyway, or maybe she won't. Mark Dominic. Fine. I knew it would come to me. Anyway, here's what it does, though. It gives Belichick the whole year to position and posture and plan for what he's going to do in 2025, assuming that he chooses to get back in. And he clearly wants back in. He interviewed twice with the Falcons. He wants to catch Don Shula. He wants a win. He wants to enhance his legacy. At a minimum, I've heard he wants to not just get one more than Don Shula. He wants to set the bar a lot higher than it currently is with Don Shula. So interesting times. And as I said over the weekend, at least one team with a vacancy was considering interviewing Bill Belichick. I have no idea which team it was. It could be one of the 2 teams that still has a vacancy. Now, I don't think the Commanders are going to get in because they've got the power structure that they want in place. They want a coach to just coach. They have Adam Peters to run the show. They want a coach to just coach. So I'd be very surprised if they pivot back around. And remember when I said on Football Night in America that Josh Harris, the new owner of the Commanders, is enamored with the idea of Bill Belichick coaching the team. I also said after that, the issue would be, does he just want to coach the team? And are they comfortable to hire him to just coach the team? When Robert Kraft explained a couple of weeks ago that it would be awkward to have Bill Belichick in New England with less than full power because who's really in charge at that point? That same dynamic potentially applies if he's going to go somewhere else and not be fully in charge because he's been fully in charge for so long. It will be awkward for whoever does have the power if Belichick's there because he just kind of has the habit of taking the place over. So I don't know. Look, after I said that, the Commanders mobilized to shout down the idea that Belichick might be the next coach. And somebody I spoke to who has knowledge of the search told me the same thing, but then said, well, you never know. Things could change, which leaves that just a little crack, just a little crack. I mean, what if he shows up hat in hand saying, I'll take whatever I can get. I'm happy to be the coach. What if the teams now have the leverage to say, Bill, here's how it's going to be. You want to coach the team, you coach the team. You want to cook the meal, that's fine, but you ain't shopping for the groceries. We've seen your grocery list. We've seen the rancid heads of lettuce that you've brought home from Joe's fruit stand. We've seen the papayas. We've seen the plantains. We've seen the plums with red on the inside. You're not doing a good job picking out groceries. You'll just cook the meal. And again, I said over the weekend, there was one team that didn't have a vacancy that was considering Belichick. Does this take some of the glow away? The idea that the Falcons didn't hire him. Now, we don't know whether or not the Falcons offered him the job. And if Belichick wants to preserve his status, his standing, and he was offered the job, Might want to get that out there, that you said no, that you passed, that there was an impasse over Rich McKay's involvement. And that's the other side of this too. If there was a power struggle underneath Arthur Blank, because one thing I pointed out over the weekend, the coach and the GM report to the CEO in Atlanta. The CEO is Rich McKay. And that whole Rich McKay factor is just one of the things that we thought would be an issue. After all these years of not having to deal with anyone in the building other than ownership, now you got to deal with Rich McKay. You report to Rich McKay, that's not going to be something that Belichick wants. And Rich McKay is not going to want Belichick in the building, common sense would say, because that takes away Rich McKay's power and influence. If Arthur Blank wants Bill Belichick, he's got to put Rich McKay in the corner. Well, how it all works out, Rich McKay, he's still going to be in position to have both the GM, Terry Fontenot, and the head coach, Raheem Morris, report to him. He's still relevant. He's still got that great job where you're kind of in charge, but you're not accountable. You run the show, but you can't get fired. It's like the next best thing to being the owner. You can't get fired. They'll fire everybody else. They won't fire you. So Rich McKay wins in this. Terry Fontenot wins in this. Terry Fontenot's status might have been tenuous if Bill Belichick had become the coach of the team. Now, not. So Raheem Morris coach, Bill Belichick possibly shut out, barring an unexpected development at this point. What does that mean for him? Media in 2024, or wait and jump into the next cycle. Maybe the Cowboy, maybe Shireen will be getting that tattoo after all. The twin turbo tattoos of Jerry Jones on one cheek and Bill Belichick on the other. Maybe it'll happen next year instead of this year. But that's where we are. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.